Good morning, Floss Tube. It's Diane, the Hot Mess Princess. As I shared with you last week in my last Floss Tube video, this week is the opening weekend of the State Fair of Texas, which is always an exciting time for me because I'm a needleworker, of course, and I love to enter the creative arts competition at the State Fair of Texas. It's one of the highlights of my year. So I also shared last week that 2 years ago, I was part of a documentary about the people who enter the competitions in the State Fair of Texas, which was an awesome experience. So I got to meet lots of other people who love the State Fair and do all kinds of different competitions, from knitting to livestock to baking contests, even a Harley Davidson riding group of quilters. They were awesome. So anyway, it was a really fun experience, and I shared with you last week that I would share my part of the video with you this week. But I've also gone to the State Fair, and I went on Friday on opening day. It was really, really fun, and I had a super fun experience when I was there in the Creative Arts Building right next to my needlework that I want to share with you now before we get on to the rest of my Floss Tube video. So without further ado, here is my greeting live from the State Fair of Texas.
Hey Floss Tube, it's Diane, the Hot Mess Princess. I am at the State Fair. I am standing right by the Peacock, and I found all of my needlework sisters who were in the State Fair of Texas needlework documentary with me. So there's the Peacock. Whoa, I can't do this. There's the Peacock, and here's the Stitchy Sisters! Say hi! All these, my hand is totally shaking. There we go. Hi, girls! Ta-da! We just bumped into each other right here at the Peacock. There we go. Yeah. So that's my Peacock, and then this, whose is this? Sally. Sally. This belongs to this fabulous lady right here. Who else has something in this case?
I think who else has the queen of a lot?
Oh, the queen of quite a lot. She's with royalty. She's with royalty. And now Brian's with royalty.
I am not in this case because I'm a professional.
Anyway, we're going to go have fun, but I just wanted to show everybody where the Peacock is. But that's my second place ribbon.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Ooh, okay, so who wants to see the one that beat me? The horsey. Horsey beat me. That's the first place winner. God, I just realized my makeup is totally falling off. Anyway, that is the first place winner in my category. Okay, the glass reflection is really terrible, so I apologize, but this amazing person, I don't know who she is, she won Best in Show for County Cross Stitch for this beautiful sampler, and I wish you guys could see it in person because these are the flattest stitches I have ever seen. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and it's very big. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. It's really pretty, so pretty.
And I'm back. Hello. We had so much fun at the State Fair, so I'm just going to sit here hugging on my unicorn that I won in the Midway, drinking my iced coffee from my souvenir Big Tex mug. and we'll go on with the rest of our floss tube. So I'm going to put, her name's Texie, by the way. Since I won her at the State Fair of Texas, I named her Texie. So anyway, that is just a little bit of the fun that we had at the State Fair of Texas. At the end of this video, I will share the documentary footage from the stories from the State Fair of Texas documentary that I was part of 2 years ago, in case any of you would like to see it. It's just my part. It's not the entire thing. But it was a great experience, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. I enter the State Fair, try to enter the needlework competition every year. It's so much fun, and I will not stop until I get a blue ribbon. I have a hot, I was going to say I have a hot mess ribbon. If there was a hot mess ribbon, I would like to have one. I have an honorable mention ribbon. I have a 3rd place ribbon. I have now 2 second place ribbons because my peacock won 2nd place. And 2 years ago, I won 2nd place as well, which is the best I've ever done. I've never won a 1st place, and I've certainly never won that big, beautiful purple best in show. But those are both goals of mine. Someday I will get there. And it's just fun. You don't win money, and you don't, there's nothing else. It's just a ribbon, and it's just great fun. And yeah, I just love it. I can't explain why. It's just awesome. So anyway, pardon me for reading from my little lineup book, but I want to be organized about today's video. So today we are going to go over, I know last week I hosted my first giveaway because I went over 200 YouTube subscribers, and thank you to everyone who has done that. That's been really amazing to have that many subscribers. I mean, of course, there's, you know, people out there who have thousands and thousands of YouTube subscribers, and that's never going to be me, but I am grateful for those of you who have subscribed, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you ever have any questions or anything you want me to know, please feel free to post them in the comments, and I will answer everyone. So I want to do some talking about the raffle last week. As you know, I asked everyone what their suggestions were for me to earn a new charm for my Pandora bracelet. And usually I make those fitness or health related. I shared that I have a blue glass charm for every size I've dropped. Have some other things, like the first time I was able to fly on an airplane without using the seatbelt extender. And for those of you tuning in for the first time, I used to weigh 400 pounds. So I've lost 119. Needlework is a big part of what keeps the chips and the Cheetos out of my mouth. So, and floss tube is a fun tool of sharing that message with folks. So anyway, I asked everyone last week if they would give me some ideas on how to earn my Pandora charm, my next Pandora charm, which will be Bruno the Unicorn. That is the most adorable charm. So several people piped in and said what they thought I should do, and the prize was this needle minder. And we'll talk about who won that in just a bit. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot of busy, stitchy things on my calendar. I have a lot of events coming up, and something that I just did yesterday. So I'll share with all of you about that. Also, we will go over WIPs. For those of you just tuning in who don't know what WIPs are, WIPs stands for Works in Progress. So needlework that I'm currently working on. We will talk about haul, which is, you know, going to the stitchy store and shopping and buying more things that probably don't technically need, but what the hell? So I actually talked about my stitchy stash in the documentary, the State Fair of Texas documentary. They got me to talk about my stitchy stash. So, and then we'll go back to the State Fair of Texas documentary, and I'll explain a few things about that before I share that footage with you. So anyway, that is what we are going to talk about today. Let's get started. Get comfy. Okay, let's get started. So I have some shout outs from last week's YouTube video, and I just want to say at the beginning, If you hear heavy breathing going on in the background, there is nothing shady happening. We are expecting a bit of rain, and I have a St. Bernard over here who is a bit miffed that we're probably going to get weather. She doesn't care for the rain and thunderstorms, and she's a little old lady. Well, not a little old lady, but she's an old lady, so she's kind of pacing and breathing heavy. So nothing shady going on, just a big old 120-pound dog, nervous. So anyway, I'm going to mispronounce some names, so I apologize in advance. But Diane Ekbod last week commented about how the Wizard of Oz also scared the crap out of her. Thank you very much, because the needle minder I'm giving away is Wizard of Oz themed, and that's why I'm giving it away. It's just that movie scared the crud out of me as a kid. The flying monkeys, the Wicked Witch, even the palace guards, everybody scared me. So I can't keep it. So someone will be enjoying it soon, but it will not be me. So anyway, just Diane Ekbod, awesome name. Spell it the same way as I do, and I feel ya on the Wizard of Oz thing. Also, PJ Stitcher, thank you so much for the suggestions about a goal to earn my unicorn charm. I appreciate that. And much love to both of our moms. Also, Lana from Till the Last Stitch, just wanted to say thank you for your support. And I'm so jealous that you got to live in London for a while. That must have been awesome. I love London. I love living in Texas. I'm from Southern California, by the way, so I'm not from here. I love Texas so much. It is home to me. But living in London for just a little while sounds pretty cool as well. Sherry Levesque thought maybe my story from Buckingham Palace last week when I visited, she thought maybe they thought I was Fergie. I just laughed at that. That really made me laugh, Sherry. Thank you. I'm definitely going to check out that tea that you recommended. Golden Hair Stitcher Susan, I am so jealous of your Fortnum & Mason Advent calendar. It sounds awesome. I love Fortnum & Mason. Kristen Montfort, thank you so much for your suggestion on what to do for the goal for the unicorn charm. I appreciate that. And Gisela Suzuki, In Stitches 21, Brenda Jacobson, Cheryl Brumbaugh, and everyone else who commented. Thank you so much for your support and your wonderful comments. I truly appreciate you stopping by and watching and taking the time to post comments. So please, everybody, if you have questions, anything you want to share with me about things we share in comment, I would love to hear from you. So, okay. Without further ado, I did do a draffle. What is a draffle? It's a combination between a drawing and a raffle for someone who has not had enough coffee. That's what it is. So, I did a random number raffle, thanks to random.org's awesome website. And Lana from Till the Last Stitch is the winner of the needle minder. Yay! So, Lana, if you will please get in touch with me, I'll put my contact information below. Please send me an email or message me on Facebook or however you want to message me. And I will send your needle minder to you. Congratulations. Also wanted to share, since I asked everyone for goals, what I decided to do. So I am wearing my Fitbit again. And to those of you who are tuning in for the first time or missed this part, I am very prone to foot injuries. It happens a lot. It happened when I weighed 125 pounds. So it's not specifically weight related. My feet are just kind of jerks. But anyway, of course, part of the rest of my weight loss is going to be workout related. And so, you know, I'm having some issues. So anyway, 4,200 steps a day is usually my average because I have a sedentary job and I'm a needle worker. So I wanted to increase my steps per day. And Kristen Montfort commented that she thought that would be a good idea. I'm not going to put the traditional 10,000 steps a day goal on my head, because going from 4,200 steps a day to 10,000 steps a day when you're prone to foot injuries seems like a bit of a stretch. So Hot Mess Hubby suggested 6,500 stitches a day. So steps. 6,500 steps a day. Wow, 6,500 stitches a day would be quite an achievement. Anyway, so my goal is now 6,500 steps a day for 30 days, which will be good for me. And at the end, if I have kept my goal, if I've hit my goal every day for 30 days, I get Bruno the unicorn charm from Pandora. So anyway, wish me luck. I have so far hit my goal every day and all is well. So yay. All right, let's move on to some floss tubes I've been catching up on. Pretty Southern, she is a crack up, and I have really enjoyed catching up with her. I shared on my Instagram channel just this morning. I was watching her, and her dogs pop up in her videos quite a bit. And Dyson, our dog, who is a Saint Berdoodle, so he's the size of a Saint Bernard, but he looks like a giant Muppet. He was also watching FlossTube with me, and when her dogs popped up, he went ballistic and ran up to the TV and was sitting there looking all perky, and he really wanted to play with her dogs. So I posted a picture of it on Instagram because it was just cracking me up. He was just all about wanting those dogs to come out of the TV and play with him. So anyway, I've been watching Pretty Southern. Helen D is another one. And of course, I caught up with Garrett's latest floss tube, and I love the haircut. It looks fabulous. I donated my hair to Locks of Love one time. That was a really great experience. Ended up with hair that was a bit too short as well. That was not a good look for me. I had a mow haircut, sort of. But at that point, you know, I'm thinking it was longer than this. And so I'm sitting in the chair with the beautician ready to cut my hair, and she has it in a ponytail. And she says, okay, well, in order to donate it, it has to be this long, so I'm going to have to cut it back here. And at that point, I'm thinking, I don't want my hair that short, but I also don't want to go, oh, I'm sorry, the kids are going to have to not get my hair because I'm too vain to let my hair go that short. I really needed a haircut, and I just thought, okay, whack it off. What the heck? I'll deal with very, very short hair for a period of time, and these kids will have, you know, hair for wigs and things. It's, you know, when you have those issues and stuff, let's just be grateful for what we do have. That was my thinking. But yeah, for a couple of months I had a pretty funky looking hairstyle. So anyway, I loved Garrett's haircut. I thought it was really cute. Okay, so busy stitchy things. Yesterday, I went to the Stitch Niche and I took a punch needle class. I've never taken a class at the Stitch Niche before in Arlington, Texas. I was absolutely delighted when I walked into the class. I'm super happy that, first of all, and super grateful that I have a local needle workshop, a local brick and mortar store where I can go and buy specialty fabrics and all the floss I need and beautiful patterns and things, because not everyone has a business near them that is a stitchy store. And so I try to just remember that I'm lucky that they're there, and go and patronize my local small businesses once in a while. So the Stitch Niche in Arlington is absolutely incredible. Went and took a punch needle class there yesterday for $65. Wasn't even sure about the project, what we were going to do or anything. I just have always wanted to learn punch needle, and I thought it would be cool. So it was everything cool and more. It was really great. You walked, sorry, I'm getting a little disorganized. You walked into the back room where the stitchy table is, and they had these tackle boxes at everybody's place setting, and this little jar with a hole in the top. I'll explain that a bit later. And a hoop, which I'll show you in a minute. And they had little mints all over the table and everything. It was wonderful. So this tackle box is so cute, and it has everything in it that you need to do the project. And all they told you to do was bring a pair of curved embroidery scissors, which I didn't have, so I bought there at the shop. No big deal. You get to learn punch needle. So it was a 3-hour class. I learned way more than I expected I would learn, and the teacher was absolutely fabulous. She was really great. Her name was Belinda, and she teaches an intermediate class too. So I asked them to please call me when that class comes up, because I am super excited to take that. So anyway, what was interesting to me was, this is the working side. It's a pumpkin. This is the working side of the punch needle. This is what, you know, you're holding it like this and you're punching, being very careful not to stab yourself in the leg. Saying that for a friend, not because I've ever done it. And then you flip it over after you've done the punch, you flip it over, and there is the punch. This is the good side. And it's so sturdy. It's really sturdy, and it's just like you can't stop petting it. It's awesome. So anyway, the background's going to be black, and I should be able to get this done in a few days. I love punch needle in that I'm not going to need a magnifier. This is not detailed, right? It's just like a big cartoon sort of thing. So it's not the intricate cross-stitching thing that we are used to, right? I definitely had a lot of fun. I was really trying not to buy another punch needle kit, and right now I'm kind of regretting that I didn't do that. So maybe another trip to the Stitch Niche is in the works. I don't know. I'm feeling a little conflicted about the fact that I don't have any more punch needle to do after this. So anyway, the class was really great. Oh, and let's go through the tackle box. And I'm sure if you're like me, you want to know what's in this baby, right? So let's go look through the tackle box. This was all provided as part of the class. I thought, you know, for 65 bucks, I thought we were going to get our project materials and, you know, the lesson about it. I wasn't expecting all of this cuteness, and it was, it's awesome. So, in the kit, in the little, first thing is a notebook in case we wanted to take notes when we were listening to the teacher. And then these grip thingies, whoa, I almost ungripped them, because when you hold a punch needle, it's like holding a pen. So sometimes your fingers get tired, and those are cushy grips for the punch needle in case you want to do that. By the way, I can see again that my camera is zooming in and zooming out as I move around, and I'm incapable of sitting still. I apologize. And there is a fix in the works, so please don't get too annoyed that you unsubscribe or don't watch me anymore. In 2 weeks, I should have a better setup for doing these videos. I apologize for that distracting motion. So she even created, I thought this was so cute, a little cheat sheet card so that we would remember what kind of floss goes in what kind of punch needle. Really awesome. These are the just basic curved needle scissors that I bought for the class. They're Ginger scissors, so, you know, they were on the more expensive end. I'm sure you can find something on Amazon that's not as much money, but again, I wanted to spend my money in my local shop. This is the actual punch needle. It comes out of this tube when you work with it. And then they provided, hold on a minute, I'm having a malfunction. They provided ribbon for finishing because it's going to be a little ornament. It's really cute. And I didn't take a picture. I can't believe I didn't take a picture. She even put in this little cupcake liner to keep your thread scraps in order to keep your workspace neat. They thought of everything. And then, of course, the floss that I'm going to need in order to finish the piece, and the backing fabric that I'm going to need, and then the trim as well. And then the only thing I really need to get is the fiber fill stuffing for the ornament. And I think that's it. And she even offered, like, she's at the Stitch Niche on Thursday nights because they're open until 8 o'clock on Thursday nights. So she offered, if anybody has any questions or needs anything, call the shop to make sure she's going to be there, and she'll be there to answer questions. So just really well worth the class cost, and I'm super happy, and I will definitely take another class from the Stitch Niche. So I'll keep you posted as I get this pumpkin done. But it was really fun. And it was, I met a lot of other needleworkers there, of course. It was really great to say, it's always great to meet other stitchers. So that was punch needle class. Next week is a big deal. Next week is the Embroiderers Guild of America's Diamond Jubilee Seminar in Louisville, Kentucky. And I bit the bullet a few months ago and I paid for a class. I think it's 17th century embroidery that I'm doing. I've never taken such a class before. I'm totally a cross stitcher, so this is a new adventure for me. The class supplies list was a bit intimidating, and I have to bring my floor stand and my lamp. So Little Miss Fly Standby, never check a bag, is having to check a bag with all this gear in it. And then I was thinking, how do I get my lamp and my floor stand from my room at the hotel to the room where the class is? So I bought this. I don't even think I can get this thing on camera. I bought this big cart thing that the wheels come off, and it folds like way down into nothing that can fit into a suitcase. You wouldn't believe it. It's kind of it's like a Swiss Army cart. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I'm getting ready, packing for all of that. So if you want to keep in contact with me, well, next week, of course, I will do a floss tube of some kind from Louisville, Kentucky, from the EGA's Diamond Jubilee. But I don't know how, where they'll let me film and where they won't let me film. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to share and what I'll just share pictures of. But if you watch me on Instagram or on my Facebook fan page, not my regular Facebook page, I have a Facebook fan page called The Hot Mess Princess, and I'll link it below. If you follow me on those, you should be able to at least get a sneak peek of what's going on. And then, of course, it will be featured in my floss tube video next weekend. So, of course, Hot Mess Hubby is staying home for this. He's not interested in going on a needlework retreat for the weekend. So he'll be home with the puppies, and I will be in Louisville next week. So there's a banquet that closes the week out and everything. It's pretty awesome. So so there's that. So that's coming up next week, and I'm super excited about that. In fact, I actually made, hold on, I got on my little Cricut machine and I made myself a little gadget bag. Stitchy things. So this right now, all I have in here, I need a couple different pairs of scissors to take with me and stuff. Right now, all it has is my beeswax from the Royal School of Needlework, because I need to bring beeswax with me for this project. I have no idea why. It's all a mystery because I've never done one of these before, so it's super exciting. Hopefully I don't, embarrass myself. We'll see. So anyway, there's that. Also, this was really cool. I was super excited to see this. Hold on a minute, because I don't have this open to the right page, because that would be being prepared, and Diane can't be prepared. There it is. Okay, so on my mission, this is totally appropriate for my State Fair of Texas Blue Ribbon mission, right? I always enter cross stitch. I wanted to enter a couple of other needlework categories as well, and I might do that next year. It's always like a New Year's resolution, but so far I have only entered cross stitch. And this year is no exception. The Best in Show winner in the cross stitch division is this huge sampler, and I'll share it with you in this video. It's incredible. They're the flattest stitches I've seen in a long time. This person did an amazing and beautiful job, and I can never get my stitches that flat. And okay, granted, for something like, my little casual things that I put around the house, I'm not really paying attention to technique so much. I'm never going to enter it in a contest. It's something that's just for me. But for the larger pieces, I do want to perfect that, and I want it to look really beautiful, and I want to do the best work that I can possibly do. And I've never gotten my stitches that flat. I just would love to know how they do that. So I was flipping through. If you're a member of the Embroiderers Guild of America, which I highly recommend, even if you're just a cross stitcher, highly recommend, because it's so educational. We get Needle Arts magazine every quarter, I think. No, every month. Look at that. Look how wrong I am. I'm a newish member. I've only been a member for a year. So anyway, as part of your membership, you can participate in group correspondence courses. And, the really serious needlework classes are quite pricey. We're talking maybe a couple $100s. So, and then at the Royal School of Needlework, probably about the same. I think my ribbon embroidery class that I took last year at the Royal School of Needlework at Hampton Court Palace was like 130 pounds. So that translates to about 160 bucks, right? I think so. I'm not mathy, so figure it out. But anyway, new group correspondence course in EGA's magazine, and look at that, perfectly counted crosses. How much time do you think I wasted before I signed up for that? Watch out, 2019 State Fair of Texas. That blue ribbon's gonna be mine. So anyway, I'm super excited about that. I'm waiting to hear. I believe what they do next is mail me the class packet so that I can start. I don't know. I've never done this before either. Maybe I'll ask at the convention in Louisville this weekend. Maybe I'll ask. So anyway, I'm super excited about that lightning round because, hello, perfect cross stitches. I need to know how to do that. So, okay, so let's talk about works in progress. And the first thing we're going to talk about with works in progress is in my very first floss tube, in floss tube number 1, I shared a bunch of different projects with you, including Victorian Charm, which is right here, actually. This is the piece I was going to do for the State Fair next year. It's really beautiful. I've always wanted to do, it's been in my stash for quite some time. And after seeing the pieces that won in my category, okay, so I got second place in my category. Somebody got first, obviously, the third place, and there, you know, usually there's 1 or 2 honorable mentions. There are 5 honorable mentions in my category, which says a lot about the level of needlework in this category. So many wonderful pieces. So as I'm walking around the State Fair in the Creative Arts Building, every time I'd see, you know, mine's one of the larger categories, so every time I'd see a big one, I had a picture of the list of my category and who won. And I'd see a big piece and I'd be like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And then I'd walk up and it would be someone who got an honorable mention and I got second place. And I'm looking at this going, I am so honored that I got second place. And this thing is gorgeous and it got honorable mention. It's amazing. And third place actually was really incredible. And again, I'll share all these pictures with you at the end of the video. First place, beautiful. I mean, I don't want the judges' jobs ever in a million years. But I thought everyone in my category did really, really beautiful work. And where the hell was I going with this? Okay, so anyway, Victorian Charm now. I'm looking at Victorian Charm for next year. And I'm thinking, I need to kick it up a notch. If I really want that blue ribbon, I really need to do something fabulous. You know, not that Victorian Charm isn't fabulous, because I really like it, especially the kitty in the window. But no, and so I was out with my husband yesterday and I get a random text message from one of my friends who takes a really fun interest in what I enter in the State Fair every year. And so he texts me and he says, you know, I've been thinking, and as much as I love that Victorian piece, that's not going to do it for next year. You really need to step up your game. So I think more and more people are in agreement that I need to find something that's really going to wow the judges, and I have no idea what that will be. So I'm thinking in one of the next couple of weeks, I'll give some options to everyone, and maybe we can all talk about and vote on which one we really think would be amazing and win over the judges at the State Fair of Texas Needlework Competition next year, because I want a blue ribbon, you guys. I want one so much. So anyway, Victorian Charm is still a work in progress, but it might be a little bit more slow going than we expected. So moving on with other works in progress. Let me get out my little project bag here. You know, I love these. Right? It's September by, excuse me, Country Cottage Needleworks. There's one for every month, of course. And I thought, oh, how cute. You know, I'll do this and I'll decorate for September. Yeah, today is September 30th. Am I done? Nope. I'm not done. I probably should have started with January, you know, because I need to get my other bigger projects done too. I can't be just stitching months all the time. So anyway, I feel like kind of a big fat failure because I didn't get September done in time, and I will not be getting that done today because I need to clean the house and do some other things. So anyway, that's my progress on September, and I don't have any other things to share for works in progress because I've now added the pumpkin to my works in progress, right? My punch needle. So those are now my 2 active works in progress, and I am searching for a new project to make for the State Fair of Texas that I can get done in a year too, because I need to have it done by like June. So it needs to be something I can stitch in that amount of time. It can't be super gigantic or super intricately gigantic. You know what I mean. Okay, so let's move on to haul. Things I bought for stitchiness. This bag always makes me happy because it comes from the Stitch Niche. So for haul, again, being optimistic, look what I picked up. That's probably not going to happen either. I didn't even buy the fabric for it. I'm just setting myself up to fail. And then they didn't have this last time, and I've always wanted it. I am going to do my first color change in this because I don't like the colors. The little needlework shop. Isn't it cute? Love it. So anyway, I thought that was adorable. And then when you're standing at the register in the Stitch Niche and you're getting ready to pay for your stuff, they have the most beautiful needlework behind them, and I always tell them I just need to duct tape my eyes closed and just hand them my credit card for what I actually came in there for. They have this sampler finished and framed, and it's absolutely beautiful, and so I bought this pattern. It's awesome. This might end up being something that I enter in the State Fair. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. And then this is really adorable. And I think I shared in FlossTube video number 1 with everyone that we recently had to send our kitty cat Hemi, our little black cat, to Rainbow Bridge. She was suffering from cancer, and you know, they always tell you when it's time, and it was Hemi's time. She couldn't be Hemi anymore, and it broke my heart because she was my last kitty in the house, and I love black cats so much. I love Halloween and fall and everything, and I have had a black cat in the house, at least one, for the last 22 years. So saying goodbye to Hemi was particularly heartbreaking. And I'm still not over it. As you can tell, I'm kind of getting a little choked up. Sorry. I'm still not over it. So when I was at the Stitch Niche, they had this really sweet, beloved companion memorial sampler. And I mentioned, you know, of course, that's a dog on there, and I mentioned it's too bad that's a dog, and she said, oh well, that actually there's inside the chart there is a substitute for as a cat if you want to do it for a cat. And that was all I had to hear. So I am going to stitch this for Hemi the cat as a little memorial, and their example in the shop was incredible, and it was 32 count linen stitched over 1, tiny. Stitched over 1 thread. I'm taking that on. So that might be something that goes in the State Fair. So I just think it's adorable. And it's a bit sad, though. It says, how like the fleeting wind away, whole years of joy depart. Which is true when you lose an animal, right? But I feel like the joy of having an animal in your life, and yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. So I like my big giant babies out there. I wouldn't trade them for anything in the universe. So anyway, that's an upcoming project. I probably won't wait very long before I start that. But 32 count linen and stitching over 1, woo, that's going to be interesting. So so there's that. Oh, and then I was looking through, a week ago, I went and got my Just Cross Stitch Ornaments issue. I love this time of year. It's so fun to see all the little projects. And who is it? Is it Big Apple Stitcher? No, I think it's Buckeye Stitcher, who loves cardinals. And I totally relate. I absolutely love cardinals too, especially when it's cold here in Texas and it's a little snowy outside. We do get snow in Texas. And there's cardinals on the bird feeder. I absolutely love them. So I think I'm going to choose this guy. And yeah, that. I think those will be entering my work in progress rotation sometime soon. You know, because I don't have anything else to do. I work full time, I stitch. Why not? Who needs sleep? So, that's my haul. Sorry, I'm starting to choking. So that's my haul. I'm pretty happy with that. This week will be spent packing and organizing to get ready for my big EGA Diamond Jubilee weekend. I have no idea what to expect. So this will be a fun experience. So, all right. So back to the State Fair of Texas and the documentary that I was in 2 years ago. It was called 341 Stories from the State Fair of Texas. And as I remember, the reason they named it 341 was because there are 341 days to get ready for the State Fair of Texas. So they followed along, you know, the folks who work full time at the State Fair of Texas and put on this whole big show, which is, the State Fair is amazing. It's huge because everything's bigger in Texas, right? Including our State Fair. So it's just, it's fabulous. So anyway, it was a really fun documentary to watch and to be part of. So a couple notes when you're watching this footage. Again, this is just the footage of me. I don't have the full documentary. I hope someday the State Fair of Texas will put the full documentary on their YouTube channel. I think that would be really, really awesome. So, because it was really fun. And I think other states need to learn about the awesomeness that is the State Fair of Texas. So this is just my footage, but I wanted to make you aware of a couple of notes. Number one, when I'm talking about my grandmother and they show a picture of me and an older woman, that is not my grandmother. That is a lady who is near and dear to my heart, sweetest lady in the universe. But so many of my friends and family, or well, not my family, so many of my friends, when they saw this documentary, were texting me and going, I didn't know you were part Filipino. I'm not part Filipino. She's not my grandmother. I think they were showing examples of that picture is it's not a bad picture of me, but I was 398-pound Diane. There was a lot more face on my face, and I think they were trying to show that. So anyway, just a heads up, that's not my grandmother. What was the second thing? Oh my God, I lost it. Okay. So, and then when I was a little tired when I did my interview, but they asked me to describe all the different kinds of needlework, and I'm not sure if it was in the editing or if I actually said it, because I was pretty dang tired. I'm an insomniac, and that was not a good day. But when I talked about needlepoint, I said needlepoint is just a half cross stitch. So to you needle pointers out there, I know there's much more to needlepoint than a half cross stitch. There's like a jillion different stitches you can use in needlepoint. So I'm sorry about that. It's not what I meant to say. But anyway, I think you'll enjoy it. Otherwise, it was really, really fun. They actually followed me to the framer to drop off my piece of needlework. And the piece I entered 2 years ago was Lady of the Flag. She's almost 2 feet tall. She's a huge piece of needlework. My best work to date, really. Even the peacock this year, I think, wasn't as, maybe because he's smaller than Lady of the Flag. And she's beaded, you know. She was the most complicated piece of work I've ever done. And I was so proud to get a second place ribbon in my category for Lady of the Flag. So anyway, I'll share with you the documentary footage. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions for me, any comments, please leave them. I so enjoy connecting with my fellow stitchers, with anyone who's interested in watching my FlossTube channel. If you have anything to say, I'd love to hear it. Thank you for watching. And just remember, as you go on with your daily week this week, be nice humans, okay? Thanks. I've managed to stitch my way through a weight loss of over 116 pounds, 8 sizes in clothes, and countless inches. I've lost a foot off my waist alone, and I'm only halfway to goal. Sometimes I have days where I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna get rid of this. And then I see that picture and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I am a native Californian, and I have a Texas-shaped waffle maker. I have Texas-shaped pasta. I'm the only one in my neighborhood who flies the Texas flag on like Goliad Heroes Day. I got here as fast as I could, so I'm good. A couple of years ago, I actually weighed 383 pounds, and I made a lot of changes in my life. And one of the changes was I wanted to substitute a healthy behavior for eating when I was happy, sad, glad, mad. So I picked up needlework again. I hadn't stitched in a long time, and I decided I'm gonna start doing this. So this is actually 383 pound Diane. There's the difference so far. My grandmother was a knitter, and this is a baby set that she made for me when I was just a tiny little baby, and these are the blue ribbons that she won. When I was a little girl, I used to pull these out once in a while and look at her blue ribbons and think to myself, someday I want my own blue ribbon. So I still haven't won one, but I'm on a mission, so I'll get there someday. There's all different kinds of needlework. So there's knitting, there's crochet on that end, on the yarn end, and then there's needlepoint, which is sort of, if you think about a half of an X, it's a heavier yarn. And then there's embroidery, which is very, very fine floss and fiber and very, very detailed. And then there's cross stitch, which is what I do, which is tiny little X's across linen or even weave fabric. So this is the garden sampler that I did. This was the first thing I ever entered in the State Fair of Texas. Then that was the most fun day, to actually get to come to the State Fair and see this hanging up in the glass case with everybody else's needlework and this big gorgeous third place ribbon on it. So it's kind of my favorite. 2 years ago was the first year I could come to the State Fair and actually walk it without being exhausted. Like when I was 383 pounds, it was like I didn't get to see this because every 20 minutes we'd have to stop so I could rest my feet and my legs, and everything hurt. And I was dancing to the car. Now I can come to the State Fair and I get to see anything I want. I can just walk around all over the place. Fitbit loves me. My stitchy stash is very, very personal to me. I'm kind of proud of it. It is my dirty little secret. It is in my closet, but it's all very neatly organized. So what is stash? Basically, you go to a store, you go shopping, or you go to a retreat, a stitcher's retreat, and you see patterns and fibers and gorgeous fabrics and things that you want and you have no real need for and no purpose for, but it's there and you have to buy it. You literally have to buy it. So it all ends up going in your stash. And I think if the State Fair gave an award for best in stash, I'd win it. Hey, Robert.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good. Here's my baby. I haven't actually been to sleep yet. I finished her at 5:40 this morning.
Maybe a pale gold frame, something to work well with the kind of muted golds in there.
Great. I think this blue is too bright. I love this combination. This is great. When I saw this, it reminded me of my dad, who he passed long ago when I was in my 20s. It will be hanging over our fireplace in our living room in our home. We have like little American flag throw pillows and stuff like that, so it'll fit right in. My dad would never speak about his service in the war. We knew he served, we knew he was wounded. We knew he had a Purple Heart, but we didn't know he had all these other medals, including the Bronze Star. This for me is sort of just something I think my dad would have found beautiful. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm so excited.
Kind of having a little separation anxiety right now. This was a very laborious project for me. I worked on it for 8 months. This is my first project that's beaded, and I severely underestimated the amount of time it would take me to bead something. And these beads are so tiny that they were dropping out of my fingers as I was stitching, and it's very, very tiny, intricate work. And so at one point I ran out of gold beads, and I needed like 10 more, and it was 11:30 at night. No craft stores were open. There was nothing I could do. So about 11:30 at night, I was down on my living room carpet with the tweezers and a flashlight looking for gold beads. Actually, I'm starting next year's project tonight. I am not pushing it like I did this year. This year I took a total of 1 week, maybe 6 days of vacation trying to get this done for this year's state fair. So I'm not going to let that happen next year. Now is the hard part where you just sit and you wait for that letter in the mail that's going to tell you, did you get a ribbon? Did you not get a ribbon? I guess I'll be stalking my mailman for the next couple of weeks.
Second place letter would be nice. That would be good. Got second place in the whole state.